Hi guys, so in geography we are also going to be doing revision from week 10 to week 18. We're going to see what you guys can remember from what we learned in class and on Edmodo. Can you guys remember in week 10 we learned about earthquakes? An earthquake happens when huge rocks deep under the ground slip and push against each other. This makes the ground above shake. The place underground where an earthquake starts is called the focus. Most earthquakes are too weak to be felt by people, but some can cause great damage. Here are some pictures of what an earthquake does. An earthquake that happens under the sea shakes the seabed. This creates huge waves called tsunamis. In the deep ocean, tsunamis are not dangerous and may pass under ships without anyone noticing. They only become enormous if they in shallow water. Then they break and crash onto the land. In week 11, we learnt about volcanoes. A volcano erupts when it's hot. Sticky rock from the inside of the earth bursts through the surface. The rock called lava pours down the sides of the volcano and over the land. Bombs of rock may shoot up to the sky and thick clouds of ash and gas may come out. The lava cools and hardens into rock. Some volcanoes are tall cones with steep sides and some are fairly flat with gentle slopes. There are lots of volcanoes under the sea. When they appear above the water, it makes an island. A volcano can be active, which is alive, or dormant, which is asleep. In week 12, we learnt about following a river. A river starts high in the hills or mountains. The water comes from the rain or melted snow. It flows down until it reaches the sea. The start of a river is called a source. This is where streams join together. Then the water wears the rock away. Other smaller rivers may then join. It makes bigger rivers then. The river then flows faster. Then the river ends in a waterfall. A waterfall forms where a river flows from hard rock to soft rock. The place where the river meets the sea is called the mouth of the river. Can you remember in week 13 we learnt about floods? A flood is water that covers the land that is usually dry. Floods may happen when there is lots of rain in a short time. Rivers get too full and spill onto the land. As the water rises, people try to stay safe on roofs. A flash flood is a sudden wave of water. Huge waves can also cause floods. Some floods happen when snow and ice melt. The monsoon is a wind in Asia that blows all summer and winter. In summer, it brings very heavy rain from the oceans. In week 14, we learnt about mountains. Mountains form over millions of years. A group mountains are known as a range. This is part of a range called Rocky Mountains. Some mountains have snow on their peaks. The level where the snow ends is called snow line. An avalanche begins when huge slabs of snow starts to slide down a mountain. A heavy snowfall or a sudden change in the weather can cause an avalanche. Some plants and animals can live on mountains. They need to survive in very cold temperatures and strong winds. You can find these animals, flowers, and trees on a mountain. In week 15, we learnt about the seashore. The seashore is where the sea meets the land. On most shores, the sea moves up and down the beach. This is called the tide. At low tide, a beach is dry. At high tide, it's covered by water. Lifeboats help people in danger. Sand is made of tiny pieces of hard rock and seashells. At night, a lighthouse shows ships where there are dangerous rocks or cliffs. Pebbles are bits of rocks which the sea has worn smooth. In week 16, we learnt about seas and oceans. Seas and oceans cover almost 3/4 of the earth. There are 5 oceans and lots of smaller areas of salty waters called seas, bays, and gulfs. The Pacific Ocean covers almost a third of the ocean. This is what it looks like from space. The Atlantic is the second biggest ocean. There are many ways of catching sea fish. You can use a fishing rod, you can use a boat with a net, or you can use creels. They are used to catch crabs. There are plenty to look at under the sea. People explore it in small submarines or by going sea diving. In week 17, we learned about under the sea. The bottom of the sea is called a seabed. Under the water, there are plains, mountains, volcanoes, and valleys. Seamounts are undersea volcanoes. Some have flat tops. An ocean ridge is a row of undersea mountains. There is often a deep valley along its middle. Coral reefs grow in warm, clear, shallow water. They are home to thousands of plants and animals. Can you see the sea divers? They have to wear special suits to go sea diving. In week 18, we learnt about under the ground. There's a world beneath your feet that you don't see. Here are some things you can find underground. Soil near the surface is called topsoil. Moles tunnel in the soil. They make mole holes when they come up to the surface. Rabbits live in burrows. Roots stop trees from falling over. They suck up water from the soil. Many small creatures live in the topsoil. The creatures are earthworms, centipede, slugs, beetles, woodlouse, snails, and ants. What can we find underground? Pipes, bones, fossilized roots, human bones, cables, and trains. In big busy cities, trains run under the ground in tunnels. Thousands of people use them every day.
That's all, folks.